Howling.
Right, mate, that looks alright. The lava lamp's going again, mate.
It is.
That's
Heat it
good.
up, heat it up. Another week in the bag.
Another week in the bag, mate. Here's one for you, mate.
Go on.
Last night, right, me and Double D, right, we were knocking up some bait at home. I says, I'm going to knock up this new recipe, right?
Right.
I got this cheese out and I got it on the bench, right? As I unwrapped the cheese, right, it was glowing green.
Glowing cheese.
Glowing. Honestly, it was glowing. It was luminous.
Oh, fuck. God's sake. Get on, cheese.
You like that one?
No. Terrible. Terrible.
Good.
Terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 2 of the Yonder Mountain Podcast. Thank you to everybody for your kind words and responses to the first episode. We've got some great stuff from there, and also thanks very much for everybody who's joined the Yonder Mountain Facebook community. We've had some great responses, Toffee Head.
Yeah, over the moon to get off and running, Simon. Yeah, some very good feedback as well on the channel. So.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our first special guest, and here he is. None less than Mr. JC himself.
I can't
What a guy.
believe we've got him.
JC is going to be talking about a few things which are very close to his heart, and things we're talking about, things like cold water therapy. Wim Hof couldn't make it, unfortunately. He's having a hot bath tonight. But we've got JC who's going to talk about cold water therapy. He's also going to be talking about the red light district.
Cannot wait to hear about that one.
I mean, red light therapy and grounding and fit at 40. I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. Why don't we kick off with fit at 40, because this is your brainchild. Tell me a bit about it, mate.
Thank you very much for that introduction, guys. Very happy to be guest number 1.
An illustrious start, mate.
The only way is up from here, I think, isn't it? So guest number 1 over here. But no, thanks for asking this. So I know, obviously, I've worked with you for years and I've taught you about this, but I turned 40 this year. So obviously, as you approach that milestone, as you all know, you've got a few years to go.
He looks like he has.
A few years old. The hairline's still low, guys, but you know.
So yes, probably 38, 39 onwards, sort of your mindset changes in terms of, your outlook on things. You have family and all sort of stuff. So I just thought there's this thing where as you get older, you're not as fit, you're decrepit, you're going downhill. Well, I thought it hit us one day when I was on the run. I went, why does it have to be? And then just it rolled off the tongue. Wow, I want to be fit at 40. Basically, that's all it came about. Fit at 50, go on.
Well, we were talking about fat at 50.
Absolutely.
I'll try and avoid that. But no, so it got us thinking. I've always been interested in sort of exercise since I was a little boy. So, but it's really been the last couple of years. I've educated myself, gone away, done a lot of reading, podcasts, YouTube videos, stuff like that, just to look deeper and beyond just. Exercise, basically.
And you were talking about your granddad as well, weren't you? You were saying that he really kind of looked after himself and he was quite an inspiration for you as well, eh?
Yeah, so I kind of was, when I'm prepping for this, I thought, why do I like it so much? Because when you like it, it's easy to do, basically. You like something, it's easy to stick at.
Of course it is.
And I thought back to my granddad, and I remember being 3-4 year old, and he had one of those, remember the old-fashioned chest expanders?
Aye.
He had one of them in the house. He had his exercise books. He had his dumbbells, and he loved to go out walking and stuff. So I think from a young age, I latched onto his behaviours, what he was doing.
And that kind of kick-started you?
Played football at school. Loved athletics at school. So I always had a keen interest in it, really. Yeah.
Very good, very good. I know you're a big advocate for it at work. We all work together. For 10 years we've worked together. And actually we talked in last week's video, me and Toffee Head here are qualified mental health first aiders, amongst other things. JC is as well. JC's a big advocate for, and he's launched this Fit at 40 thing at work, mate, and it's been received very, very well, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, fortunately, like a lot of the people at work, we no longer work with teenagers, 20-year-olds. It is a bit of an aging team, isn't it? And we have people sort of in the 30s, 40s and beyond now. So, life gets in the way. People have similar stresses, similar dramas.
Yeah.
And it was just nice for me to sort of share, offload, because I'm quite a private person, really. I don't like to talk about what's going on at home. So to be able to share things and help people who are going through stuff I've been through, well, it's been good. I like it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Good on you, mate.
So where did this motivation come from then, JC? So you said you passed that 40 milestone. Where did this sort of kick into your mindset to say, do you know what, actually, I don't want to go down the route that Simon's went down and end up an absolute mess. I want to do something about it.
He's my inspiration. What not to do?
Where did that inspiration really kick in then, do you think?
I say it's always been an interest. I'm fascinated with the human body, how it works, all the mechanics. I did biology at college, did sports science at university. Mm-hmm. I'm a mortgage advisor, so I'm putting it to good use. You know what I mean?
It's all worked well.
But I'm really keen on the human body, how it works and everything. Anyway, and then that was ticking over nicely. And then I think the changing point was when I had Emily.
Aye.
So she's 11 now.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, a bit like my granddad did with me, just set a bit of an example, set standards, show that, the benefits of it all.
Yeah.
Sometimes falls on deaf ears. She's 11, so sometimes it's like, gadgets and stuff. So we try and strike a nice balance. So really just trying to be a role model, I think. And
good on you, mate. You do a good job of that.
Yeah. And so what sort of exercises have you picked up? Any new things of interest that you've, enjoyed to keep yourself fit? What have you discovered?
There's been a stark change. So pre-Emily, so 2013, I was football, running, long distances, all that stuff. The occasional weights, but it was pretty much aerobic cardio stuff. Emily came along, time is a factor. You haven't got an hour to go out for a run, 2 hours to walk. So
it's this juggling act, isn't it?
Yeah. So I switched to the high intensity stuff, so it was like 30-minute bursts when I could grab time.
Yeah.
I was doing stuff in the house. So when she came along, I switched my attentions to sort of a little bit more HIIT workouts, resistance, and then the more I've been doing research, I just enjoy it more, and there's stacks more benefits with the resistance stuff.
Is it?
But I still do cardio once a week, but you can get a lot of your cardio from lifting weights and stuff. So
what you're talking about, your own body weight exercise as opposed to pumping iron?
So I'll give you an example. During COVID, when the gyms were shut, I was in the garden doing body weight stuff. Invested in a kettlebell, or someone lent me a kettlebell, learned how to do exercise with that. So I've kind of just adapted, and I'm always interested in learning new stuff. I'm very curious.
I mean, you call it fit at 40, obviously, because you've turned 40. Now, about 35 years ago, I hit 40, or so it seems anyway. And there's definitely a change, isn't there? I think there's a physical change. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a mental change as well. So what do you think it is about when you hit when that milestone of 40 and changing your mind? So what do you think that hitting 40 has changed in your mindset? Do you think?
It's obviously it's a big number, isn't it? And people use milestones 18, 21, 30, 40. So they have these milestones that we just within us, people think it's a big thing. So mentally, I just thought I didn't want to go to the Burns Sports Day and lose in the parents' race. Basically, and that's what it was. If I'm being honest, there was one year I went and I didn't want to show myself up. I still want to run about with her. She was jumping on my back the other day. She was on my shoulders, and I was like, lifting her up and everything. I thought, I want to still do that when, I know 40 is not old, I know it's not, but I still want to be doing that when I'm 50, 60, 70.
Aye.
So...
That's a class point, mate. And credit to you, being a good dad and making sure that you're fit and active to do all of those types of things. That's absolutely class. Absolutely class, without a doubt. So you've seen a big difference with, keeping your exercise routine going and, kind of really working at it.
it's harder. It's definitely harder than when you were say 20 or 30. So in my 20s, it was all.
What, from a metabolism point of view?
Yeah, and probably a motivation point of view, because in your 20s, I was doing it to look good. As you know,
beach body,
youngers do.
Yeah.
As I've got older, I've then started exercising to feel good. So
physically feel good or mentally feel good?
Both. So as you know, our jobs can be stressful. I'm out the house 12 hours a day sometimes. On my longer days. It's just having that time to just decompress. Music's in.
Yeah.
Crack on for 45 minutes, an hour. And it's just afterwards, the rush of feeling the dopamine, the rush. You come away and you're just like, you're on a bit of a natural high sort of thing. So that's when I get to the end of a long day, time permitting, I love to do that. I know people like to read, people like to sort of go on long walks, watch the telly. So I think for me, that was my thing. I found
that was the big one for you. That was the big one for you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, mate, credit to you, because not only do you live it, you talk about it all the time. At work, JC is actually quite an inspirational character, and he has been, not only at being very good at your job, but being a bit of a role model and a go-to guy for things like fitness, and also some of these other things. You're talking about kind of learning different things and bringing different things into your routine. And we talk every day that you're in the office, and seemingly we can go through the odd week and you'll say, hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Have you heard about the other? I was joking about Wim Hof earlier on, and Wim Hof, you'll know Wim
Everyone
Hof.
knows Wim Hof.
The Iceman, the ice dude, and you came in and you went, hey mate, have you done any cold water therapy? And then within a week, you'd done loads of research. He's very analytical on you, mate. You research things and you do it. Within a week, mate, you bought yourself what's it called?
It's like a plunge pool.
Plunge pool?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it, mate, because I'm fascinated with this. I do plenty when I'm out and about swimming in rivers and stuff. Well, floating around in rivers, basically, is what I'm talking about. But this is a different setup, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's similar. Obviously, I don't really have the opportunity to get out into nature as much, with one thing or another. So it became a bit of a craze. The cold water stuff was all over TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and a lot of people were doing it.
It seemed like a fad, didn't it?
It did, but to be honest, some of the stuff I look at now, I heavily read up on, watch, and initially I'm thinking, like, poo-poo, it's rubbish. It's just, rubbish hippie stuff. But once it's backed by science, it perks me interest. I'm like, So I look at the benefits it has on the body, and the mind and your mood. It was last Christmas, actually. It was a Boxing Day sale. I'd been thinking about getting one for a while. Yeah. And I saw something pop up on me Instagram. It's half price. I mean, I'm going to do it. Just going to do it. Nice little spot in the back garden next to the hose pipe. Just going to do it, and then give it a go. And do you know what? I've never looked back since.
Really? So how often do you tend to use that?
So, funny enough, in the winter / spring, the water was cold enough that I could get in, and it made a difference. I found as we approached like the summer, the water was warm. It was quite expensive to keep cold, buying ice and stuff. So I then transferred across to just cold showers.
Okay.
So I've started doing that. But now, as we get into sort of autumn and stuff, I've got a thermometer.
Temperature dropping.
Yeah, anything below sort of 10 degrees for the water temperature. Anything above that, I felt like I was sitting in it. I wasn't doing anything. So I've switched to cold showers. I find the cold showers harder than the than the ice bath, because the water's constantly hitting you. And I find that harder. So so I'm constantly leaving the shower on icy cold. So when our lass gets in, she goes in.
Bit of entertainment. Good idea. And the Ben no doubt as well.
So for all those at home who haven't heard of Wim Jonk, what is the... that's what he's called, isn't it?
Of course it is.
We are. So for all those who haven't heard of the whole therapy, what do you think are the main benefits of, exactly that, getting into the cold water therapy?
There's tons. Like I say, before I do any of this stuff, I must do 2-3 months worth of digging around online, reading up on
research,
stuff.
you do,
Because
aye.
I'm quite tight with my money, so I don't want to just spend stuff just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to invest in something, I want to make sure I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
So I spent about 2 or 3 months looking at it. Spoke to people who I know that used it. Got all the feedback. Honestly, from the physiologically, my body, I didn't feel any benefits straight away.
Okay.
Did you not?
In
What are you talking about? When you first get in or after a week?
When I got in, after the first one, I got out. That rush of dopamine I was seeing after exercise, I got that from it. I came out, I was bouncing about the garden, I was on a high.
Were you?
Yeah, so I found the benefits more, at this point, more probably mental than physical.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's funny you should mention that as well, because on the first podcast we were talking about some of the chemical changes, the production of dopamine and serotonin, the two main feel-good chemicals, and that's the first thing. So this cold water releases these chemicals to make you feel good, right?
Well, you basically get in, anyone that's been dipped in the ocean or a cold swimming pool on holiday or something, you know, you get that shock.
Shock
you get
to the
in,
system, aye.
you have that shock. Once you get past that shock, I just focus on something in the background. You control your breathing, because obviously you lose.
Yeah.
You can't catch your breath.
Of course.
Control that breathing, and once you've controlled the breathing, you just.
Do you get into a bit of a trance?
You just still
Clears your mind.
Yeah. Now I can get in, and I'm a little bit more aware of what's going on. The dog's walking about and stuff like that. But initially, because I was just focusing on staying in it,
Just like zoned out.
you do sort of like, I suppose, that's meditation or something. But I've never done that. I've never done meditation, but it was very much where I zoned out. Again, probably I'd be music in. I love listening to that sort of, and then just zone out. Not for long. I built it up.
Yeah.
Started off with just a minute, and then the next week 2 minutes, and then I went up there sort of 10 minutes. But everything I've seen says you don't necessarily have to go colder or longer. You just have to do maybe 7-8 minutes or something.
What's the how can I put it? What's the optimal temperature? What band of temperature are you looking at where you're going to get the best benefits?
Well, the Wim Hof you mentioned, he dips his head in the North Pole and stuff. So he's
Wim Junk played for Sheffield Wednesday, I think.
Oh, that famous rugby team.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Not the Korean leader, no.
No,
So everyone's different, but from what I've gathered is you don't necessarily go down to like 0 degrees. Basically, as long as you get enough time, because the idea is to have your body adapt to the cold. So you apply some stress to your body then adapts, lights up your metabolism. It releases things. I've learned all this since I've done it. It releases things called brown fat.
Go on.
Your brown fat. So everyone has this.
Yeah.
White fat's the stuff that you see hanging over your belt and all that sort of stuff.
Well, we don't have. We don't have. Oh, we do have that.
We've got that in abundance.
We've got loads of it.
But brown fat is deposited round
That comes out the other end.
round your collar.
Aye.
You don't want to play with that. You don't want that in the plunge pool. So you have your brown fat that stimulates and that generates the heat, releases lights your metabolism, it keeps you warm. So children have more brown fat than adults. So do you know when you see people go, put a coat on, and like, I'm not cold.
I don't need it.
You've got loads of brown fat, and that diminishes over time.
From that point of view, Geordies will have more brown fat.
Brown fat, brown ale. Brown ale, brown fat, I think.
Aye. Right.
There we go.
Interesting stuff, mate. Interesting stuff. But it's definitely. I know you're. Do you know what the key thing is for this? Is you're consistent with it, mate. You're consistent because every week I say, how's a plunge pool? Oh, you're still going. You're still doing it. The challenge has been just getting the water temperature right. But consistency is the key, and you're good at that, like, mate. You're good at that. You're good at that.
That comes down to just having a routine. If I'm honest. Like over time, the little one now she can tell what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. She'll go, Sunday morning, are you going to go at the gym? Are you doing? I think it might sound boring, but I work better on a routine and structure.
Okay.
And like anything, it was hard to do it consistently to begin with.
Yeah.
But once you build a bit of a habit. After I think it's like 21 days, 3 weeks. If you do it consistently, you then crack the habit.
Yeah.
You do it for 2 or 3 months, and then it becomes a lifestyle. So now it's
part of your life now, isn't it?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. There's a couple of other things I do as well, which I say I've adopted into sort of my habit. My last head, I have a head round the bend because she's like,
Because you've got like a new.
what's coming from Amazon now?
Aye,
And I'll sit and I'll talk to her tonight like I'm doing this. And she's like,
here we go again.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, on that point then, what's this red light therapy all about? Because I've never heard of it.
really
So you're educating me.
Here we go.
here
Here
as
we
well.
go. This is good. This is interesting. As you've been telling us all about it at work. This is interesting. And put it in the comments. Have you heard of red light? I nearly said
Therapy.
district. Red light therapy. Have you heard of it? Get the chat going in the comments, guys.
Yeah. So this again, something I extensively researched. I've picked these things up off podcasts, I must admit. So inspired by certain people and seen things. But to believe it or not, NASA discovered the benefits of red light therapy. Now, if NASA are using this,
Right, you can't go wrong.
we've got liftoff.
Right. Very good. Very
So
good. Yeah,
they started development in the space shuttles and that in the 60s and 70s. Basically, if you think of a rainbow, you've got a light spectrum all the way through, and you've got at the end you've got red, infrared, or near infrared. So it's at the scale of red light that comes from the sun, that penetrates the skin deeper, attacks like your cells. And then within your cell, every cell, there's a little mitochondria. Those that did biology will know, and that's like a little battery in each cell. You've got billions of these cells. If your mitochondria fail, you're lackluster, you've got no energy,
yeah.
you die. So that's pretty much aging, your cells die off. So this red light penetrates the cell, supercharges your mitochondria, and that spits out energy. It's called ATP. So it spits out this energy, and the energy obviously then powers your muscles and everything. So that's just one benefit, and it's used in professional athletes. So for rehab.
Right. Yeah. What, for cell regeneration?
So for inflammation.
Right.
For repairing grazes, cuts, scars.
All right.
It's used for people with eczema. Because it cures all that.
This like aye.
But just so we know again, this isn't any special like rays or like UV lighting. This is just a red.
You get it from the sun. So we obviously where we live, it's difficult for us to get. But if you live in a really hot country where you've got sun 24 like every day, you could go out and you see like so when you see the sun in the morning, it's quite orangey red.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
It's that red light.
That's it.
So is there a way to get a man-made version of that?
Amazon.
Right. Get a link in the video.
I'll drop it in the link.
We'll put a link in.
And funny enough, I was down Manchester last month, and I walked walking down the street, and I walked past the tanning bed and shop. And in there, next to it, was a shop dedicated to just red light panels. So
really,
this is totally new.
And they work just like tanning booze, but you don't get the UVA, the UVB that causes cancer. I've got one if I was in. It's got that big. It's got all the bulbs, and I've built in my routine now.
So you'd been on a run, hadn't you? Or was it the Total Warrior or something? Anyway, you'd knocked your knee, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Or you were concerned that you'd knocked your knee and it was stopping you running.
Yeah.
You know? And you came in and he says, I've been using this red light therapy thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we got on to it. And you said, tell the story, it worked,
I mean, I
helped.
guess we'll never know exactly, but I feel as though it contributed because I was struggling to walk. I think I jarred my knee somehow in there, struggling. So basically, at home, got my work desk, and I stick it down on the floor. It shines up onto my lower body, and I just had that on for like half an hour. Then another half an hour later on, and then that just
bursts.
Yeah.
And specific because you were telling us about your eyesight, and you were saying that you were putting it onto your face as well, and it started to possibly improve your eyesight a little bit.
Well, I've had to do a lot of research on that because I've got terrible eyesight, like literally blind as a bat. So they've done like a lot of research in mice and stuff to say it's sort of improved eye health. Not necessarily the prescription.
Yeah.
Just eye health, because of the mitochondria. Your eye's one of the most metabolic parts of your body, along with your brain.
Yeah.
So there's it's going crazy. So if you can get this red light on it, you can wear goggles or just shut your eyes, just 2 or 3 minutes. It's not extensive.
Just a quick blast.
And I do that in the morning, and it sets my circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
So I walk this morning, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
Put that on whilst I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Absolutely. Where I don't know if it's what's it called, phototropic or whatever, but where in the morning when you wake up, come out of your sleep and you wake up, it's actually the light levels which start to change. When you're asleep, it's melatonin, that's the chemical, that's your sleep chemical. And to wake up, it's that transition whereby your body starts to create serotonin, and it's light levels that do that. So I'm wondering if, when you've got that red light therapy going on you, which wherever it may be, because you're getting that extra light, maybe it's producing extra serotonin, maybe it's giving you a feel-good feeling.
I don't know, mate. It mimics the sun, basically. That's what it does. So if we could get out into the sun in the morning and get half an hour's worth of sunlight on the face,
that does the business.
I think that's probably more beneficial. But obviously where we live, all that sort of stuff, time of year, it's hard. So to be honest, when I was explaining it to my parents and to the people, you can see them like a bit skeptical. I was, honest to God, I just tried it, and on the morning I have more energy.
Well, there we go.
I'm doing other bits and pieces, and my sleep's improved dramatically.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a lot more energy. So we've had
That's interesting.
Well, about 6 months with the burn, and I struggle with my sleep, and that's
helped.
I don't know if all these...
Right, mate, you'll not be alone. I mean, sleep's a big problem for everybody. Put it in the comments, guys. Sleep's a big deal, and if you can do anything that'll improve your sleep, even just a little bit, that's got to be a massive difference for you.
Definitely.
Massive difference for you. Mate, there was one other thing that I was really, really keen on. Now, I do this all the time. You guys might do as well. When I'm out on my adventures, honestly, my feet look like something off Lord of the Rings. Like, honestly, it's like they're gnarled and they're hard, and I look a lot like the Cheviot Yeti. And that's because I'm barefoot most of the time, and I swear by this. Like, I swear by it. I know you've heard us talk about it. The benefits of being barefoot and just having your feet on the ground, on the sand, in the water, in the grass, whatever. There's something, and there's a science behind it. It's called grounding or earthing, and you absorb the goodness from the earth, and it penetrates through your feet, and it really lifts you up. Yeah. Interestingly enough, mate, you've been doing a bit of grounding as well, haven't you?
I have, yeah. So this is one of the things I thought was very...
It's another Amazon purchase, this.
It was another Amazon purchase. I thought this was very hippie, very, out there. But again, I looked into it, saw the signs, saw the benefits it did, and I was like, I found one on Amazon. It was 35 quid, and it's about that big, plugs into the mains, and I thought I'm going to give it a go. And I kid you not, the quality of my sleep since I've been using it.
What is the product? What is it?
So basically it's a grounding mat. So it mimics all these things are probably things that you would get from outside, prescription nature. So all these things, being barefoot on the ground, sunlight, out in the cold water. So this is, it clicks into your mains, just the earth. Yeah. So your body is touching screens, phones, laptops, gets all these positive particles, positive charges, and your blood clumps together, so it's not fluid. You touch the ground with your bare foot, these negative electrons go in your feet, in your body, and then it just releases it and reduces chronic inflammation.
Hey guys, you'll have seen on episode 1, I'm giving away that iconic OEX Fox 2 wild camping tent, and that thing is an absolute bomb shelter. If you remember from episode 1, all you have to do to enter into the draw is type the word Foxy, that's right, Foxy, in the comments. We're extending it for another week, and the lucky winner will be announced on episode 3.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your last chance to get involved in that epic giveaway from Simon there. And I just like to say, of course, thanks for JC for coming along again. He's covered some excellent stuff in today's show. So we've got the grounding, red light therapy, and of course Fit at 40. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all that content? Leave your comments, of course, in the description below. And thanks very much, JC, for coming along.
You're very welcome.
Absolutely well done, mate. There's some really inspirational stuff there. I would love to hear your comments. Absolutely. JC's kindly agreed to stick around for a Q&A. So if you've got any questions about any of the things that we've talked about there, Fit at 40, red light therapy, grounding, all that type of thing, JC's happy to answer any questions that you've got. If you've got the questions, leave them in the chat, leave them in the comments on this video. And also, if you're not already part of the Yonder Mountain community, which is really turning into something, we've got 100 strong people over there now, like-minded guys talking about some fantastic things. The link for the Facebook community is in the video description as well, and I'll put a link in the comments. Come and say hi, come and join in. Like-minded people, it's a fantastic place to be. So JC will be answering any questions that you've got via the Facebook community as well.
Yeah. And on that note, I think a quick round of applause for JC coming on, our first guest.
Absolutely.
Cracking shit.
What a guy. What a guy. Yeah, really good.
Simon, what we got coming up on next week's episode?
Well, let me tell you, brother.
Go on then.
I need to stop watching Hulk Hogan stuff. It's crazy, isn't it? JC mentioned there about improving your sleep. Hey, lads, we know what it's like. We know what it's like if you don't get a good sleep. You're feeling rotten in the morning.
Yep.
Or you might get off to sleep all right, but you're waking up at the witching hour, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You kind of get back off to sleep. You've got to get up for the bends. You've got to get up for graft, and it's a nightmare. So next week's episode is going to be all about how to improve and make sure you get a good night's sleep. So on that note, folks, it's a goodbye from me. It's a goodbye from my good mate, an illustrious colleague, Mr. Toffeehead, and of course, the motivational and inspirational Mr. JC.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
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 Very good, very good, very good.